following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Reaction Monday on Main Street Sports Today. Coming up, we'll talk with Teresa Walker, AP Sports Editor for Tennessee. A little NFL conversation and more. Plus, reaction to high school sports over the weekend, basketball, wrestling, and more. Stay tuned. Main Street Sports Today comes your way next. Here are your hosts, Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yak.
Welcome back, Cotter, or Chris, I guess. Glad to be back with you guys. I missed you. Missed you a lot. So I'm glad that I can be back here. Watching you guys was fun, though, tweeting out all of the great things that you were doing and talking about, and I could not be a part of it. I was very sad. I even tried to, comment on some things, and JP obviously having to help co-host could not monitor the chat room.
Yeah.
So
sorry about that.
It's very sad. Very sad. It's all right. Again, glad to be back with you here on Reaction Monday with my friends Mo and JP. I'm Chris Yao, and we've got a lot to get to today, so much so that we should probably jump right in. Got some tons of scores from over the weekend, and we'll give you the scores and then react to what those mean throughout the rest of the show, essentially. So let's dive in. What do you say, Mo?
Let's do it.
Exactly. So we're going to give you the weekend results, tonight's schedule on the rundown. Yes,
it is the Rundown. The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today.
In weekend high school boys basketball action, Zion Christian defeated FC Boyd 66-40. Lawrence County defeated Page 60-42. It was Tullahoma 56, Spring Hill 50. Lewis County 60, Mount Pleasant 56, and Summertown with a 74-70 win over Loretto.
Richland defeated Collinwood 78-41. It was Santa Fe 73, Hampshire 22. Culleoka falls to Wayne County 56-54. Columbia Central gets a big win over John Overton 68-40. It was Independence 75, Summit 45, and Columbia Academy an 84-49 winner over Middle Tennessee Christian.
In high school girls basketball action over the weekend, it was FC Boyd defeating Zion Christian 60-10. Page doubled up Lawrence County and then some, 70-33. It was Tullahoma defeating Spring Hill 49-35. Mount Pleasant with the 50-41 win over Lewis County, and Loretto holds off Summertown 61-47.
Collinwood with a big win over Richland in 10A play, 62-58. It was Hampshire 52, Santa Fe 38. Wayne County down Culleoka 70-38. It was Independence in double overtime, a 54-53 winner over Summit. And Middle Tennessee Christian defeats Columbia Academy 49-32.
High school wrestling dual sectionals action on Saturday. Summit with a 53-30 win over Bartlett. Nolensville on the road defeats Arlington 49-21. In junior college men's basketball action, Columbia State edged visiting Roane State 59-57. Also at the Webb, Roane State's women defeated Columbia State 56-46.
Well, technically their own county,
yep.
But just not,
Roane State in Roane County.
That's correct.
Yes.
It was, in fact. NCAA men's action, Tennessee went on the road and fell 52-51 to Texas. It was Vanderbilt with an 85-77 win over Georgia. Belmont dominates UT Martin 87-58, and Eastern Illinois edges Tennessee State 62-57.
Also in Ohio Valley Conference action, it was Austin Peay edging Tennessee Tech 58-55. Lipscomb with a 77-74 win over North Florida, and MTSU wins 100 Miles of Hate 93-85 at Diddle Arena over Western Kentucky. Go Blue. Also in women's basketball action, Vanderbilt. Man, the SEC is nuts. Vanderbilt with the 81-66 win over Auburn. Eastern Illinois defeats Tennessee State in overtime 78-70. Belmont with a 73-48 win over UT Martin.
Also in OVC play, Tennessee Tech 59, Austin Peay 56. In overtime, Lipscomb falls to North Florida 83-75. North Florida that features a local player. I can't remember her name, though, but from Williamson County. Middle Tennessee State defeats Western Kentucky 71-64. And in NBA action, the Grizzlies get a pair of wins, 119-109 over the Jazz and 115-95 over the Washington Wizards.
Oh, wait, there's more?
Oh, there's a little.
There's a little schedule there, huh?
Just a
Hang
little.
on. My bad.
You're good.
Let me get back. Oh, shoot.
I can get it.
I'm sorry, y'all know. And women in high school basketball action tonight, Columbia Academy goes to Grace Christian. NCAA women's basketball action tonight. Arkansas is at number 7 Tennessee. That's a 6:00 start on the SEC network. And in NBA action tonight, the Grizzlies are in Philadelphia against the 76ers. That's also a 6 p.m. Central Time start.
That's going to do it for today's rundown.
I'm
Also-
sorry. I got intrigued by that little tidbit that you dropped regarding North Florida having a local on the team. And actually, I see two.
Really?
Real quick. I think it's Brittany Gore, who's from Williamson County, but also Jazz Bond played at Blackman, and their roster is very slow to come up.
Well, Zion Christian is also at Culleoka tonight. That's a 6 p.m. start. I literally just saw it come across the way. So
Who knew, since it's on neither of them schedule?
let's add to that one. All right, there you go. We're going to take a break. Our top story today in the opening kick can be talked about in the next segment. So is Tom Brady retiring or not? We'll talk to Teresa Walker about that and the ramifications if he is. So Teresa Walker of the Associated Press joins us right after this. Y'all come back on Main Street Sports Today. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports. Today we have a lot to get to today. A lot of NFL talk in the first half.
First off, we need to clear something up.
We do. In fact,
but-
need to clear some things up.
Because we now know more about North Florida than
We should.
anybody in this area would or should, except the parents of Jada and Jazz Bond, both formerly played over at Blackman. Jazz transferred to North Florida from South Florida, and Jada transferred from North Alabama. So there are two.
North Alabama, North Florida. Pretty easy decision,
North Florida, South Florida.
though. Well, I guess it depends. Tampa's kind of a big city, but North Florida is in
Jacksonville.
So
Anyway, the player Chris was thinking about is at Florida Gulf Coast,
that's correct.
who is not from Williamson County either.
Williamson, it's the same thing.
Well, she played for current Summit coach John Wild.
See,
Kendall Spray
there's
is at Gulf Coast. So
there's a lot going on in my head today. That's all
there
I'm
he
saying.
is. Anyway, let's get on because we got a lot to get on too, like you said.
Hey, including a conversation with Teresa Walker that we always love to have. Glad that we can grab her on this Monday prior to her. How far into your rehab are you almost out of this thing, Teresa?
I've got maybe, saw the doctor a couple weeks ago. I think I've got at least 4 more weeks. Let's just put it this way. When you have a tendon repaired, and I had a partially torn bicep tendon, it can take 12 weeks for the tendon to heal. And so, yes, I've gotten great improvement, but then there's moments that remind me, girl, you ain't done yet.
Now, is this your dominant arm?
Yes, and it's
Ooh.
been, let's just put it this way. You never realize just how dominant that dominant hand arm is until you ain't got it. I had to figure out learn how to brush my teeth with my left hand.
Oh my God.
Eating food, far different when you're using the left hand when you're used to doing it with the right hand. And you need help to have people cut up your food for you. So, it's just not an easy thing. So I am so much happier that I can see, I think, a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think it's a train, but doing much better.
That's awesome.
At least she's got a nice young son at home who can do those things to help her out.
Mm.
And your former intern too says hi to
Mm.
both of you. And yes, he was very helpful.
Awesome.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Teresa Walker of the Associated Press joining us here on Main Street Sports today. T, is Tom Brady retiring or what?
Guys, I know that he hasn't said it. You would think that a guy who's played 22 years that, it needs to come from the, I don't want to say the horse's mouth in this
Go ahead,
case,
say
but
it. The
you
horse's
do want to
mouth.
hear it from him. But, we have seen him put together some nice little snazzy stuff. And, he's got some other media commitments. He's got a podcast. He's got, a production company kind of thing. It just feels like this got ahead of, cart got before the horse. But, I don't know about y'all, but when the wife says something, she usually gets something. And all the reports are that Giselle wants him to spend some time with the family. And, when you've got kids, I think his oldest son is 14. Us parents who have kids understand that, shoot, that kid starts driving around 15 and a half, they're gone. So it's like, the time is running out for him on a different kind of clock, far away from the football field.
It's really interesting. It feels like the backlash from the initial announcement was based on the timing and the fact that he did not control the message. I feel like he's probably retiring, but he's gone through all the no, I've not said that yet, so that he can try to regain control of the narrative. But got to give credit
Put
where
the genie
credit.
back in the bottle.
And it's not going back in, I don't think.
I've also heard that a significant portion of his signing bonus is not due until after the Super Bowl. And I'm not sure if that's going to be paid before, whether or not he retires. I assume it would be, but there's a significant portion that would be paid after.
It would be financially beneficial for him not to retire just yet.
Correct.
Then, okay.
About $15 million
But I've also read that that's just a matter of accounting, right? I
Okay.
mean, it's a check that gets printed. I mean, so I don't think that has as much to do with it as, maybe trying to time it. You would presume maybe during this week before all attention truly turns to LA, the Rams and the Bengals next week. So, this is the week that things are much quieter as, everything gets put into line and everyone gets, the two teams that made it to the Super Bowl are busy planning and getting their tickets booked, et cetera. So it just, it's one of those things that, maybe some pride somewhere in there thinking that you can keep something like this under wraps. I had somebody tell me, it's like, he deserves to say his own news. And it's like, sure he does. But if you're trying to do a big splashy kind of video to cap your career, anybody who's ever kept a project under wraps, getting all the mouths to stay shut is tough because guess what? People love to talk. And, so let's just put it this way. Last I checked, neither ESPN nor NFL, Ian Rappaport also confirmed he's going to be retiring. Neither of them have taken their stories off the website, so or backtracked from them, no matter what Tom Brady's father said.
ESPN doubled down. There's like extra stories on there now. So hey, roll with it, I guess.
It's interesting.
Dude, the NFL on Saturday was just a rolling stream of things about, Brady and retweeting, Julian Edelman and you name it. So it's like, it's going to be interesting, if and when it does happen. It's like, do we do it all again?
It's a heck of a question. Someone on one of the local stations mentioned that if you break Brady's career down into 7-year increments, each of those increments is Hall of Fame worthy in themselves.
It's impressive.
And I don't have the details, but when you're talking about a guy who 3 different phases of his career would be Hall of Fame worthy, I mean, I'm not the biggest Tom Brady fan, but it's one of those deals where you really have to give credit where credit is due. And if this guy's not the greatest player in NFL history, I don't know who is.
Well, Mo, I'll tell you, I tweeted out on Saturday, if Brady is retiring, isn't this the guy to go ahead and just waive that 5-year waiving requirement? And boy, I tell you, I ticked people off, or I had people that were absolutely in favor of it. It's like, no, he should have to wait like everybody else. And it's like, show me somebody else who went 7-3 in 10 Super Bowls. Wait, can you show me somebody who actually made it to 10 Super Bowls in their career? Exactly. Peyton Manning, as great as his career, 2 Super Bowls. Drew Brees, as amazing as his career, 1 Super Bowl. Yes, Joe Montana had to wait the 5 years, but, as great as he was for the Niners, did not go 7-3 in Super Bowls. So, I ticked off people big time, and they don't want to hear the fact that, hockey waived those rules for Wayne Gretzky, okay? And then, a good friend pointed out, that people enjoy being inducted into Hall of Fame after they've had some time. And I'll just say this, I don't know about you, Mo, but personal experience, I'm glad I was able to enjoy it without having to wait some designated time. I got to enjoy it with, my mother-in-law, my close family, and it meant a lot, rather than having to wait 8 arbitrary deadlines. So, yeah, I mean, his numbers, the fact that he led the NFL in yards and touchdowns at the age of 44, count me. I'm not his biggest fan either, right? I mean, when he talked about playing until he's 45, I'm like, let's see it. He has put together an amazing career. I thought he was done in the Super Bowl to Atlanta when he threw a pick six and they fell behind 28-3. I thought that was it. No, he managed to find some way to outwit Father Time. So,
and win that ball game, by the way.
Yes. So it's like, he's had a Hall of Fame career. If he does have to wait the 5-year period, it's going to be, we know he's going. It's pretty amazing the numbers he's put together and just the breadth and depth of his career. When guys were, trying to think of some of the old guys who, George Blanda and some of those folks who played, like up to 40 and stuff. You look at pictures of those guys, they look like old men. And I'm talking about 80-year-old men. Mm-hmm. You look at Tom Brady, it's like he's aging in reverse. How does he do it?
It's been impressive. I mean, again, like you said, I agree with you, Teresa. The fact is that he's the greatest NFL football player of all time. And if there's anybody that they should waive it for, it is Tom Brady. And I would hate for Tom Brady to have to share an induction date with Ben Roethlisberger and some of these others who are retiring. So let's go ahead and get him in before Drew and Big Ben. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing. They can't do it for this year. I had somebody say, well, go ahead and get him in this year. And it's like, no. They're announcing that class. It's been voted on. It will be announced during the NFL Honor Show on February 10th. But, guess what?
What if everybody just
Dave Baker, I think, is well, they do have their processes, but there'd have to be a decision by the Pro Football Hall of Fame up in Canton to do that. And I'm not sure if, they've got a board. Dave Baker, I think, is retiring from that role that he's had. Man. I know. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it. But then guess what? Brady may have to wait 5 years. And in 5 years, shoot, he'll be almost 50. That's still not a bad time to go in. But, the career, I mean, the accolades we saw over the weekend, just multiply them once the news ever becomes official.
Were you surprised at all with the results of the weekend?
Yes, in a way. But, like the Chiefs blowing a 21-3 lead, well, we saw the Chiefs do that in Alex Smith's last game to Marcus Mariota and the Titans under Mike Mularkey. So not too surprised. But it does feel like teams are really starting to figure out how to defend Patrick Mahomes. And that defense that was, supposedly so improved, it seems like it reverted to what it was earlier in the season. I mean, to blow a 21-3 lead on your home field, and Mahomes 55 yards in that second half. I mean, it was just an ugly performance by him and the Chiefs. So kudos to the Bengals. I do know, having two Titan fans in my house, I heard it all day yesterday about how Titans should be hosting today. We should be at the game right now at Nissan Stadium. We should be going to the Super Bowl. And it's like, guys, sorry, sports doesn't happen that way. And right now, Joe Burrow, ding, ding, ding. And right now, Joe Burrow, I mean, the guy has not lost a meaningful game in his career going back to LSU, right? I mean, I think he's now 7-0 in postseason games. So it's like, that's just a ridiculous production from him. And, he made the plays that they had to have, driving them back and rallying them from 18 down. So I still, the production and the play choices by Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy at the end of the first half, what were they doing at the end of the fourth quarter? It's like you want to run time, but guess what? You got a defense. Go out there and score a touchdown. You know you're down. You need at least a field goal to salvage overtime. Go score a touchdown. And then in the Rams game, we find out that Jimmy Garoppolo has a injured thumb ligament. Guys, he was hurt in the Titans game. That's when he went on the report after that game with a thumb injury. So, it's kind of impressive that they went as far as they did with him dealing with that kind of injury in his throwing hand. So, I think I would have been surprised. I did pick the Rams to win, I thought the Chiefs were going to win. So that was the game that surprised me.
There you go. Teresa Walker of the Associated Press. Thanks so much for taking some time as always. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
You know who I'm blaming for that? Walker Hayes singing over Terry Bradshaw like that. It's all his fault. That dadgum halftime show. Probably couldn't hear them in the locker room when they were trying to make adjustments is what happened. they were on there dancing to Applebee's fancy like. Come on.
Yeah, y'all are the ones that are all over that song anyway. I mean, if it had been up to me, we'd have never heard it.
Anyway, you know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Just you ain't got to listen to it for 30 seconds to know how I feel, but that's all right. We'll talk more NFL on the other side of the break, so y'all stick around on Main Street Sports Today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in to Main Street Sports Today. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton and JP Plant on the controls. Glad to have everybody on board with us today. Mo, how was your weekend? Let's react to your weekend.
My weekend was okay. Friday night went down to Loretto to the barn. First time. Saw my picture on the wall.
Very large.
Saw someone else's picture on the wall.
I want the big Mo head picture in this office. I need you to get tips to bring it to you or something, JP, because this thing, have you seen it? It's phenomenal.
Okay, so there's a big Mo head.
Yes.
Like really? Did they do that for this game?
Yes.
Since you were coming down?
Well, I don't know how they knew I was coming down. Well, I guess I said
Somebody's listening to us. Yeah.
That's nice to know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we talked to Wes Long on Thursday.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they did know. It's funny. Okay, so you're familiar with the gym, and we are not where we're supposed to be. But so I walk in, I come through the lobby, I see the Wall of Fame with the Weatherses and everybody else on it. I walk in, I go over to the scorer's table. Barry Daniel, the football coach, is running the clock, and was talking to him and Kyle Johnson,
Mhm.
the photographer / PA guy.
Oh yeah, he does it all down there.
Very talented.
Yes.
But talking to them, and then Daniel said, "Oh, look over there." So it's over my shoulder. It's the opposite side
Nice.
on the wall.
So it's on the
up
wall that
It's
you
on the
walk
wall.
into.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's on the wall.
Oh yeah.
I texted y'all a picture. I thought
I
you
I
were probably
definitely saw
ignoring
it.
us, but
it was hilarious.
yeah, but I did not see it initially when I walked in.
That's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a Greg Tips production entirely, and I will have my revenge.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
but
it.
So that's
so
Your reputation precedes you, apparently.
whatever that means. But yeah, went down there for that Saturday, officiated 4 games, sores I'll get out afterwards. And watch ball Sunday.
I did 4 games myself, and we assessed 4 technical fouls in those 4 games. Yeah, it was fun. One time because there were 6 players on the court, which I have a problem sometimes assessing that technical because it's half my fault because I didn't count the players. So
That's what I was wondering about.
so I mean, there was 3 of us on the floor, and none of us counted 6. So
Y'all had a 3-man crew?
3-man crew. It's 18U. So yeah.
Oh,
Had 3 men on the court and didn't know. So I get it. But yeah, there was, and then there was some pretty rough jawing in one of those games. So
do y'all have issues with folks wanting to sub without going to the table?
no, not an 18.
Yeah.
It's
I had to admonish a couple of coaches wanting to sub from the bench. I'm like, Coach, send your guys to the table, please.
it's not hard.
Yeah.
There's a table there. There's an X on the floor, most
Mhm.
places.
Go to it.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was my weekend.
So Saturday I did that and I felt fine all Sunday. I mean, I'm just watching TV, having a good time. I did I co-hosted a bourbon class, bourbons of the year, and enjoyed that. And then woke up this
That you
morning.
did.
I woke up this morning and I felt terrible. I was like, what is wrong?
Must be the bourbon.
Well,
Overdid it.
Well,
Too
no,
soon.
it wasn't that. It was, I guess I didn't take the Mucinex yesterday that I had been taking. And apparently this stuff is phenomenal. So anyway, we didn't get a chance to banter there. So I just want to get your reactions to your weekends, because on Sunday we did watch ball. Got a couple of local folks headed to a Super Bowl.
We do. Van Jefferson, former Ravenwood standout, going with the Rams. Jalen Ramsey, former Brentwood Academy standout, going with the Rams. Bryson Hopkins, who played at Ensworth. I'm not sure if he is active for the Rams or not, but he's on the roster as a tight end. So
They may
father,
need him
Fa-
after the guy got hurt Sunday.
son, Super Bowl appearances.
Oh, that's always cool.
Yeah. Brad went with the Titans.
You don't get those often.
I wouldn't think. So yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
And then of course we have a Tennessee tie. Oak Ridge's
Yeah,
T. Higgins
right.
will play for the Bengals. So always cool to see the local guys. Were you surprised? I was. After the first half, I'd basically just kind of quit watching. I was just casually paying attention.
It was, if I had thought to turn it off, if there had been an SEC women's game on worth watching, I probably would have turned it off at halftime, and I would have missed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but God, Mahomes looked like trash in the second half and in overtime.
I mean, just looked absolutely like he was lost.
Huh.
But now we get an all SEC quarterback
Just means
Super
more.
Bowl. Matthew Stafford, the Georgia product, against Joe Burrow. And man, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm here for Matthew Stafford. I'm rooting for Matthew
Yeah,
Stafford.
absolutely.
I want everyone to understand that I am a Los Angeles Rams fan
This week. Well, for
the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
because Matthew Stafford deserves the ring just for what he had to put up with in Detroit.
Man, what are you talking about? And it looks like, if Cincinnati can get an offensive line, this won't be Joe Burrow's last.
No. And you saw your tweet and the draft board that someone put out.
Yeah.
The draft board, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line.
I don't know that I would take anything but O-lineman
I
if
mean,
I was the Bengals.
that's
that's the only thing they're missing, isn't it?
it is. And I think that's one thing that you can say, though, is, you're talking in free agency, you go get some guys who have some experience because you just played for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Folks are going to come there.
Folks are going to want to come and play with Burrow.
Absolutely they are.
Yeah. So
let me keep that guy upright.
mm-hmm.
I'm excited. This is going to be a fantastic week. We've got plenty of time to talk about this Super Bowl, and we are definitely going to take that time. NFL coaches are getting hired, so we'll talk about that throughout the week. It's going to be a great week. When we come back on the second half, though, after halftime, college hoops, the SEC Big 12 Challenge took place over the weekend. We've got some high school stuff we need to get to, and then some college football, college basketball, women's college basketball, all of that. Plenty coming up in the second half. Right now, it's halftime, and we'll be back on Main Street Sports today. Hope you guys will stick around with us.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Oh, welcome back in. Do you guys know what the movies Titanic and Sixth Sense have in common?
No idea.
I see dead people.
Do you have a crickets sound effect over there?
Come on, that was good. See, they're all good. Oh, there it is.
There. That's the one. That's the one.
I see dead people.
Thank
It's
you.
hilarious. I don't care. Oh man. See, I never have anything like just planned out for this because I just didn't have anything today. But I did want to mention, and normally this is kind of lighthearted, but it's did you see that they're going to take the Jackie Robinson plaque from that was
I saw something
destroyed or
about that.
defaced,
Defaced. Uh-huh.
and they're putting it in the I guess the Negro League Museum?
Out in Kansas City.
Okay. I forget, there's two because Birmingham has the Southern Negro League Museum. So I was like, no, wait, I think it's in the actual one in Kansas City. So that was pretty cool. But this weekend I had some dad jokes go crazy on TikTok, and I just thought, my gosh, it's like, I don't know, it was Sunday, Sarah was trying to get me to stop, impersonating a flamingo, and I just had to put my foot down. The dad jokes are going to keep coming, guys. Charlie's feeling better. She had an ear infection the whole time. So our whole family's been sick, right? We had the ear infection on last week. She's still kind of struggling. Do y'all know the little bulbs that you used to like suck out the baby's nose with? That does not work. It's trash can juice.
Well, even if it does, I mean, it's really kind of gross.
You want to talk about gross? I'm about to tell you. They now have this like little tube that you can stick in the baby's nose and then you suck on.
Oh
it.
no!
There's a filter.
Like siphoning gas.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, and there's a filter in there to keep it from going up the tube, obviously. And that's how we've been getting her nose clean, and it is disgusting.
No, thank you.
You and Sarah flipping a coin for who gets to do this?
No, I hold her head because she obviously won't let us do it, and then Sarah gets it right out.
He's like, yeah, let me hold the head.
I mean, I've done it, and it's not, it's nothing, terrible, but it is very.
That's something that you remind your child of here in about 12 to 15 years, the things you do for your kids.
No kidding, man. It is rough. And an ear infection with all of that, luckily she's been sleeping. So thank God for that. Because she was not the first couple of nights she had that thing.
Wow. I could have done without that info.
Well, I'm glad that you understand what I had to deal with
Oh,
this week. So anyway, we've got a lot coming up after halftime. Y'all stick around. Second half coming your way.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner. The look of a winner.
It's time for the second half. Main Street Sports Today on Reaction Monday. Coming up, talking a little college hoops. SEC Big 12 Challenge. Reaction to that. Plus, a little high school sports and women's basketball. Lady Vols. We'll preview their game tonight. All that straight ahead. Back to the Lee Company studio. The Hall of Famer and sports writer of the year, Mo Patton. Here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama. I couldn't think of anything else, Chris, for siphoning.
Dad joke extraordinaire.
Yeah, no, not quite. But welcome back to the second half, guys.
I'm going to die on the I See Dead People hill.
Yes, you are.
That's a heck of a pun. And you know me, I'm a pun lover, so. Play on words. Give me all the play on words, and I'm here. Second half means we kind of move into hoops, really. Went from football to hoops, and the SEC Big 12 Challenge took place over the weekend. SEC went 6-4. One of those four was unfortunate, as Tennessee falls to Texas. Did you see those shooting shirts that Texas had? Their warm-up shirts.
The ones with their Rick Barnes message on the back. Yeah. They said thank you, but they weren't very thankful for those 40 minutes. I tell you what, though, if you turned it off with about 6 minutes left when when Tennessee was down 17 or whatever it was, you missed the game.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Because I mean, clearly they got back in it and should have won it. If Ziegler takes that all the way to the rim instead of kicking it out I don't know if he kicked it out for a three or what it was, but he kicked it out instead of taking it to the rim, and they got to foul him there.
Yeah,
and he's going to knock those free throws down. He has been as tremendous a find for that coaching staff as there's been possibly since they've been there.
You know, and what's so great about it is you're going to get at least 3 years out of him. You're not going to, Kennedy Chandler's gone.
Right.
I mean, he can make money in the G League if if that's where he has to go, but he's not going to be at Tennessee next year.
And the commentators on the game the other night spoke to that when they were talking about Ziegler, said that Barnes wanted him because he knew, they needed protection at the point guard because Chandler was going to be gone after this year. But again, as we talked earlier this year, the 3-guard lineup with Ziegler, Chandler, and Santiago has been pretty solid for the most part. And Plasic, his development here in the inconsistent / absence of Fulkerson has been dire. I mean, they really needed that.
Yeah, Tennessee is, and look, Texas is not a bad team. They've only lost once at home.
2 of the best defenses in the country going at it right there.
By far, 2 of the best defenses. I mean, statistically, the 2 best, I think, by points scored or points against, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you go back and you look at this game at the end of the year, you're going to say that's a game that you hate got away from you, but you don't necessarily mind losing. It's not.
I think what the concern right now is Texas isn't ranked. And so it's another loss to an unranked foe for UT. By the way, the SEC went 6-4 in the SEC Big 12 Challenge, but I just counted up. Not a great weekend for top 25 teams.
No,
in
it was
this
not.
thing because top 25 teams were 4-3 in the challenge.
Yeah. I mean, and one of those was between 2 ranked teams.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
Kentucky and Kansas, but Kentucky absolutely dismantled Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse, by the way.
So that means they were 4-4. I overlooked that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you really look at that, the challenge SEC Big 12, which is probably going to be forever gone when Oklahoma and Texas leave. I can't imagine the Big 12 is going to be like, yeah, sure, y'all come on over here and play. But nonetheless, this is exactly what the SEC needs, is something like this, and the Big 12 as well, because the SEC has certainly raised its standing.
Sure.
The Big 12 has raised. I mean, this is one of the bigger mid-season cross-conference, challenges that you see. I really enjoyed it, and when I got finished with my games, I turned on the Alabama game on my way home, and I sitting there listening to Chris Stewart. I'm thinking, I told you this is a game to watch out for. Alabama, for whatever reason, just plays to their competition.
Which isn't a good thing.
Well, it is if you get into the tournament. Perhaps they would prefer to be a 10, 11, or 12 seed so they can play higher ranked teams the whole way through.
Maybe so.
Because you don't want to be the 6th seed that
playing an 11.
Yeah, that gets an 11 and you're like, oh crap. And then you end up losing to Iona again.
That's a good point.
Or Jacksonville State.
That's a good point. I didn't get to see much of it because, like I said, I was busy. But number 19 LSU takes it on the chin to TCU.
And they looked awful too, which they have. They've not looked great since the win at home against Tennessee. LSU just
including the loss at Tennessee.
Yeah. Of course, I think they've lost. I think they got a couple of injuries too. I don't think they're at full strength right now.
Big win for Ole Miss. Big win for Kermit Davis. Because I think it's starting to get a little warm.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think he needed to get that out of conference win just to say, look, man, the SEC's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Dadgum. Yeah. Missouri's out here beating Alabama and almost beat Auburn and
almost beat Alabama a second time.
I mean, come on now. And Missouri's not good. I mean, really, they're not good.
Yeah.
So it's tough to win in the SEC, period.
Kermit's down there saying it's hard out here for a pimp, basically.
But the cross side of that is anybody can beat anybody, so you got to beat somebody. You can't be losing to everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
If anybody can win, you got to win some.
Some. Exactly. Yeah. Florida with that win over Oklahoma State. You know, I'm not sure what Oklahoma State is since Cade Cunningham left, but I would think that's got to be a pretty significant win for the Gators.
Well, I think any win right now is significant for the Gators, and I'm not saying that because, you know, they've been better over the last few weeks, but they struggled around Christmas.
Yeah, I think it might be getting a little warm for Mike White too.
It might be.
So Arkansas with a big win against West Virginia, I think. I have a tough time believing Arkansas isn't ranked. Because that's a team that came into the season with some pretty high expectations.
And yeah, they've lost a few games here and there, but including to Vanderbilt. But again, you know, they lost 3 straight. They lost at Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and then at Texas A&M. But then they've won 6 straight since then. Missouri, they beat LSU on the road at LSU, by the way. Then they got home wins at South Carolina, Texas A&M, Ole Miss on the road, and then that West Virginia win. And West Virginia is pretty good. So, you know, this was a good weekend for both conferences. The SEC showed that it is among the best basketball conferences in the country. And that's how you prove it. You go out there and you win those games.
I'll tell you what, Kentucky going into Allen Fieldhouse and beating number 5 Kansas like that. Better watch out for that team the rest of the way.
No doubt. Big win, like you said, or like we said earlier, for Middle Tennessee State against Western Kentucky, and then UAB falling at Marshall kind of opens the door for some teams. So
let's get back to the SEC for just a second, because 4 teams did not play in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. One of those was Vanderbilt, which defeated Georgia at home 85-77, completing the regular season sweep of the Bulldogs. So got to give JP his props over here.
We will, in fact. Missouri did not play in it either. I think they played Mississippi State.
No. Must have been South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's who it was. So there you go. Let's talk about some high school stuff on the other side. We had some wrestling. We had big weekend in hoops action. So, and some hoops coming up this week that we'll get you kind of set for. So come back on Main Street Sports today. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today. Chris Yalmo, Pat, and JP Plant here on Reaction Monday as we are continuing our most timely and comprehensive coverage of sports in and around the mid-state and region. Well, nation, I guess. We talked NFL in the first half. If you missed any part of the show, we had Teresa Walker in the first half of the show. The podcast will be up afterwards. You're going to definitely want to check that out. Or you can go back and watch the video, of course, anytime. You can watch it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at ms_sports today. ms_sports today on Twitter. I'll tell you, the weekend in high school sports, and if we just go back through the rundown, pretty impressive. On the boys' side, I thought, Columbia Central going up to Overton and getting a 28-point win after just hanging on to beat the Bobcats here in Columbia. That was something pretty impressive coming off that win over Independence.
It's interesting watching this team and how they are developing because, for the talent they've got on the floor, it's like it doesn't matter who scores as long as we get the win. And they seem to be doing a really good job of focusing. Then you talk about, the narrow victory against Overton the first time they played, and then going up there and really handling their business this time around. I just kind of like the way this team is progressing and kind of figuring out who they are and that kind of thing. And, we talked off air about the Associated Press top 10.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. And yet
this is another week
they still don't get no love.
That the Lions are getting no love. Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, not only are they not in the top 10, but they're not even receiving a significant amount of votes. I mean, there were Science Hill comes in at number 10 at 24-3, which is pretty amazing that they've got the second most wins of anybody in the state, and they're only number 10. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with 20-plus victories. Central now is 17-2. They've not lost since that Christmas tournament over at Riverdale when they lost to Pope Prep. They've won 10 straight now. They are, like I said, 17-2. And also Independence. Independence is 19-5. Columbia Central's losses are to Lebanon and Pope Prep. Lebanon is number 8 in the 4A poll. Pope Prep is not ranked in Division II AA,
though they probably should be. They're knocking on the door.
Well, and they only rank the top 5
right
in D2 AA. Indy's losses are to Lebanon, Cane Ridge, which is number 4, Columbia Central, which should be ranked, Hendersonville, and Fairview, which is number 4 in Class 2A. So they have 3 losses to ranked opponents and another one to a team that should be ranked. So I think they both got a case for being a top 10 team. But who am I? What do I know?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because, they did lose to Cane Ridge, but it was
66-60. It was a 6-point game.
It was a tight ball game. And if you're telling me that Cane Ridge is the 4th best team in the state and the team that lost to them by 6
is unranked,
I got questions. But again, it's so hard. And like you said, Mo, it's so hard. You don't know enough about these teams to really rank them that way. I mean, let's
look at the top 10. Beach is number 1.
Right.
The number 2 team is Morristown East, which is about an hour and a half east of Knoxville, up 75/81. Bartlett is the number 3 team. Bartlett's in Memphis, which is 3 hours from here. Cane Ridge is 4. Whitehaven is 5. Memphis Whitehaven. Memphis East is 6. Bearden out of Knoxville is 7. Lebanon's 8. Henry County's 9. I got no idea who Henry County's played, by the way.
Well, they're
And
15 and
Science
1.
Hill is 10. Yeah.
But again, who have they played? I don't know. That's so
We're just so spread out. And I mean, it's not going to change. But it's just tough having a basis of knowledge. And I mean, I have a full disclosure. I have a vote. I've not been exercising it because my Sundays are too busy.
Well, but also, do you feel comfortable voting? Do you know enough about these teams to vote?
If I voted, I would know enough about them
Sure.
because
But
I would.
But based on right now, if you were to rank the top 10 teams in the state,
No.
you wouldn't have a clue.
No, not really.
And you're doing a disservice if you do vote
And don't know.
and don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I think the good thing, though, is 2 things. It's all going to come out in the wash.
It
I
is.
mean, we have a tournament. It's not
rankings don't matter.
it's not like these mean anything in terms of how teams go about winning a state championship. So, I mean, it's just something for folks to write about and talk about.
Sure.
And throw, Summertown ranked number 7 in the state in Class AA.
Yeah.
In their articles, that kind of thing. But it's
Henry County
meaningless.
has not lost since December 3rd, and that was a 35-34 loss at USJ. Since then, they have beaten McKenzie, Milan, Obion County, and Clarksville Northwest. They beat
Clarksville
Northwest,
Northwest.
which is a pretty on the road. That's a pretty decent win, I guess.
that's a district win, I would
It
think.
is. It is a district win. So I mean,
But that's the only 4A win out of the ones that you mentioned.
I don't know that. I mean, they beat Lexington in overtime, Union City, Dyer County, McKenzie, Milan, Camden, Stewart County.
I think
USJ.
Lexington and Camden might both be ranked. Camden is ranked number 5 in AA.
Well, there you go. But still double A.
Obion is ranked in 3A.
So those are some pretty good wins. But yeah, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Like you said, Santa Fe's ranked 4th in the state.
Yeah, they moved up a spot.
Do I think that Santa Fe's probably the number 4 team in the state? I mean, based on what I saw in Class 1A last year at the state tournament against Richland, probably not. I mean, they're a really good basketball team, and they're going to give some people trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find out tomorrow night where they stand.
Yes, we will.
Because it's going to be a barn burner when Santa Fe and Richland take the floor, which, by the way, how is Richland not ranked after making the state tournament last year? They've not done anything this year to make you say they don't deserve to be ranked.
Lost 3 seniors.
But outside of that, when they were missing Trey Luna in Murfreesboro, they've been incredible.
Solid.
So
Been very impressive. Like you said, I think we'll learn a lot more about both these
of those
teams tomorrow night out at Santa Fe. So if you want to see some good Class A basketball,
drive south.
get there early. It's
Come
not a
on,
big
baby,
gym.
It's at
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe. It is not a big gym. There's about 6 rows on either side of this court, and then you've got
Maybe 8.
maybe 8,
Mhm.
and then you've got 8 or 10 on the one
Base.
baseline, and then you've
And
got
then
about
you got
15.
the balcony on the other.
Yeah, the balcony's probably where and then a little standing room here and there, but not
Mhm.
much. Get there.
I think it's going to be a tight ticket. Really. I might have to head that way when we get off the air tomorrow. So,
Maybe. All right. Well, again, it's gonna be a great week. It has been a good weekend. I think one of the big things that I wanted to mention here, Loretto gets the big win over Summertown. Summertown boys get a win. Loretto unbeaten still, which is pretty impressive.
went down to Tupelo on Saturday in the Robertson Sportswear tournament or classic, I guess, and defeated host Tupelo, which, speaking to
That's a 6A program.
Speaking to Ashley Rutledge after her game against Summertown on Friday night, she was really concerned about that ball game because of their athleticism. She felt like they were going to be more athletic than anybody they had seen to this point. Well, it was Loretto 61, Tupelo 44.
They're so good. I mean, they're as good as
Last year?
they're better than last year. And not to take anything away from that team, they're better. Period.
Well, they are unanimously number one in Class 2A. East Nashville is 4, Summertown is 5, Westmoreland is 7, York Institute is 8, and Stewart County is 10. So, in terms of Middle Tennessee programs, Martin Westview and Gibson County are 2 and 3. McMinn Central out of East Tennessee is 6, and Gatlinburg Pittman is 9. So, also, Wayne County in 1A girls is number 6 this week. They're up a spot from 7. Huntland is number 3.
You know, the Huntland girls, watch out. I said it last time too, but
And here's what's interesting. You know, I think it's some of the same girls. You know, they played for a state championship in softball last year before they lost to Summertown. But I think it's a lot of the same girls playing both. So they've got a pretty good run. And I think their girls soccer team went to state this fall. So they've got a pretty good run of female athletes down there right now, it sounds like.
did you happen to see the Clark Range the graphic they put out for their
Miss Basketball?
Miss Basketball?
Did not.
Oh my gosh. Dude, it is insane. And I
Can't find it.
there it is. Okay. Maddie Bush, who is a junior, fantastic player, saw her last year. You know, unfortunately they ran into Summertown in that first round and
That's right.
the overtime loss there. But and you can't see this. I wish you guys could on the show, but look at her arm.
Goodness gracious.
How tall is this girl?
I don't know how tall she is, but her wingspan is
6'5",
goodness gracious.
and she's palming the basketball. I don't want to run up against Maddie Bush if I'm anybody in Class A, is all I'm saying. Because I feel like she's going to be impressive. She's all district and all region in volleyball. Surprise, surprise.
Go figure.
Mr. Basketball and Miss Basketball graphics are starting to make their way around.
Yeah, they are.
In case you've not seen those, you know who I haven't seen a graphic for, then I really feel like deserves some talk. That's Trey Luna. I think that kid is as good as anybody I've seen around here.
Mm-hmm. Well,
until Alden Slaughter gets to be a senior.
We've not seen anything on him either. And maybe it's just them recognizing that he's a freshman.
He's a freshman. I think that's a reason to make a graphic.
You got to let people know about him.
By the way,
get him on the radar now.
By the way, he's a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So Q Martin and Jet Montgomery saw both of those guys getting a little love.
Gavin Burleson from Summertown.
And I think we're going to. I think there's definitely going to be some folks in the mix come the end of the year. Obviously, reigning Class A Miss Basketball Carly Weathers will have her say in AA. But yeah, I think we're going to have a few others down here. Southern Middle Tennessee right now, solid basketball.
There's a little talent down here.
Come down and watch some if you're looking. Let's talk about all the things. This is not Mo's
Variety pack,
but it basically is. There's a lot to get to in the final segment. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And When we come back, we will get to all of it on Main Street Sports Today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Oh, yeah. Final segment of this Reaction Monday as we get ready for the week ahead that will bring you plenty of great sports action, but we are still talking about some of the things that have happened over the weekend. And then we will talk about tonight's big Lady Vols matchup against Arkansas. Looks like we got a couple of additions to the Pro Bowl. It's funny that, guys are getting added to the Pro Bowl now after the Colts get knocked out. But hey, whatever.
Roger Saffold,
Who absolutely deserves it, by the way.
will replace Indianapolis's Quentin Nelson. Excuse me. Who's Quentin Nolan?
I don't know. You know a guy?
Roger
I don't know.
Saffold will replace Indianapolis's Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nolan is an attorney in Pennsylvania.
Not replacing him. Big Jeff Simmons will replace Chris Jones of Kansas City.
Who? Oh, Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
Not Mike.
Not Mike Jones. No. 8.5 sacks, 58 pressures, 12 tackles for loss, 54 total tackles, 6 passes defensed for Big Jeff. And I think that's just regular season since he had 3 sacks last week.
Guy's unreal. The fact that he didn't make the Pro Bowl
To
as
start
it
with.
is insane. But
Well, they better get used to him being there.
no doubt.
So, yeah, this courtesy of John Glennon at John Glennon on Twitter. So, appreciate the heads up, JG.
Is it at John Glennon or at Glennon
Glennon.
on Sports?
That might be.
Because remember we made jokes about it's Glennon Sports, but it looks like Glennon on Sports. So, it is what it is.
At Glennon Sports. Yeah, you're right. It does look like Glenn on Sports. It's Glennon Sports.
Like Seacrest, like Seco on sports.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
Yeah.
Oh man, have we got him this week? Is he going to be able to hang out with us sometime?
I think we do have him.
Phenomenal.
And his talents. Yeah. Looking forward to that. He's been doing some good stuff for us on MainStreetMurray.com.
Yes, he has. Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
Why? What is happening in Auburn?
You tell me. You're a lot closer to that situation than I am.
This is a wild situation. You have had your defensive coordinator leave and then take a job at Oklahoma State.
Mhm.
You hired a new offensive coordinator after, I don't guess did he fire the last one? I don't remember what it was. Bobo, right?
Yes, it was Bobo, and he did fire him.
He fired Bobo, who is now offensive analyst at Georgia. And I'm sure the Georgia fans are loving that.
Right.
As long as he's not calling the plays, they're probably okay with it.
Specifically, Bobo was dismissed after just one season, obviously, because Harson's only been there 1 year, despite having 2 years left on his contract.
So on December 18th, Harsin hires Austin Davis from the Seattle Seahawks. And former Southern Miss and NFL quarterback said, "Nah, I think I'm just going to take some time with my family."
Deuces.
Just a month and a half later. So now Auburn's looking for another offensive coordinator. And I'm not sure what Brian Harsin is. I'm not sure what his thought process is, because he elevated his former defensive coordinator from Boise State to be the defensive coordinator at Auburn when Derek Mason left. So now you have no real SEC guys. I mean, outside of Jimmy Brumbaugh, who's your defensive line coach. What do you do if you're Brian Harsin? You've got to come up with somebody who understands the SEC, right?
Theoretically. Unless you just don't feel like that's a big deal.
6-6 says it is.
Well, see here,
7.
Here's 6-7 with the loss to Houston in the Birmingham Bowl. So, you've got a coach that's from Boise State. You've got an AD who does not have SEC ties either. Is that right? Allen, I can't think of his last name, but I think he's a Notre Dame guy originally.
I don't know where he's from, but
Allen Green.
Yeah, I knew he wasn't an SEC guy per se.
Right. He had been at Buffalo most recently. But I mean, my point being, you've got a lot of people who don't have a lot of familiarity with the Southeastern Conference, like you said. So
I think that matters.
I think it matters. But I mean, if you are so arrogant as to think it doesn't, and I think that there is a place of arrogance, it sounds like, that Harsin is working from.
If you go to Austin Davis's staff profile, it just says 404 cannot be found.
They didn't pull it down already.
Already. That didn't take long.
Wow.
If you were Brian Harsin, who would you call?
I have no idea. I mean, especially as we sit here on January 31st.
With signing day just around the corner. As much as that means these days.
Yeah.
Still means something. Still got to fill out that roster.
And initially, you got to get them there before they can transfer out,
I think he's going to be in trouble.
I know who you're not going to call. You're not calling anybody named Nix.
Why not? You saw the picture that I sent you. The picture that I sent you with Patrick Nix and Brian Harsin at Central Phoenix City laughing it up.
Is that who that was?
That's who that is. Huh.
Maybe that is who you call.
It might be all he's got.
And then maybe Bo Nix goes back into the
Could you
transfer portal.
Could you imagine?
With the 3 guys from Oregon that he sent down here.
Those guys come back to Oregon. I guess it's a possibility.
I did not realize who that was in that picture. I was trying to figure out the significance of it when you sent it to me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Patrick Nix and Brian Harsin just having a good old time.
At Central, yeah.
And
maybe that is who you call.
I didn't even think about it when you were like, not Nix. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Maybe Nix.
They seem to be a little chummy.
Amazingly enough.
Oh, anyway,
That's interesting.
I don't
But,
know.
if not, I mean, Patrick Nix aside, I don't know who you call.
It's nuts, man. All right, final few minutes here. Gosh, sorry, I keep coughing, and it just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas women at Tennessee tonight. Arkansas 14-6 overall, 4-3 in the conference. Tennessee coming off their last the loss at Auburn, 71-61. So I know Kelly Harper is itching to get back on the court and get that taste out of their mouth.
And they had to wait an extra day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part.
And Mike Neighbors and the Razorbacks won't be any picnic, I don't think. So
Yeah, they only score 76.8 points a game.
so
So
could be more of the same.
they really don't like slow basketball, and Tennessee wants to bring the pace down. So I will certainly be interested to see this one. I think it's going to be most important to see who is able to play for Tennessee. I know that they had some injury issues, so
Yeah, I'm interested to see this ball game just to see them rebound or not from that Auburn game the other night. And you know, as we had Michelle Vopel on Thursday talking about the Lady Vols, the one thing that she said was she was concerned with their turnovers, and they committed a slew of them in that Auburn loss. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to cut those down against an Arkansas team that's scoring nearly 80 points a game, like you said, because UT is going to need to slow it down, but I'm not sure if that's in their DNA.
yeah, you're right. I mean, Jordan Horston can score from anytime,
From anywhere.
and
And they like to get up and down.
yeah. And then
So-
Kean Green is out for the year, so you've got
Ooh.
she's done, according to a story from Michelle Vopel. She suffered that ACL against Georgia.
Mhm.
So, it's not going to be an easy road to the end of the season for sure for Tennessee, but you got to get back on track, and tonight is their opportunity to do so.
Mhm.
Of course,
Suddenly this team has got some expectations.
yeah, Connecticut and South Carolina still looming. So,
Yeah.
there you go. Both of those on the road, by the way. All right, let's get out of here for a Monday. Got a lot coming to you tomorrow. Should be a great day. Top 5 Tuesday. We'll have Chip Walters, of course, and we'll talk more about NFL coaches, the Super Bowl, maybe the Pro Bowl, and much more. So come back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. For Mo and JP, I'm Chris Yousing. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road.